Well, hello. Tonight is Thursday at 8 and I am starting to do a Facebook Live. I have a great card to show you. Hi, Tanya. Nice of you to join in this evening. This is one of my favorite fun folds because it uses pretty well half a sheet of designer series paper. This card is really easy to make. And you can make it with or without a belly band. Hi, Carol and Barbara. Nice of you to join me this evening. So I've decided to pull out this art gallery. I haven't really had a chance to use it much. And it is just an amazing stamp set. The papers are what actually make it absolutely fabulous. I'm going to pull out the papers so that you can see what they're all about. I almost want to just frame the papers. These are great for people who are scrapbookers as well, and you'll see why in a minute. But I had posted a video that Stampin' Up! Put together showing the actual artist who designed this paper. She actually stood in front of an easel and painted these flowers. And she was using oil paints, and so it's those thick brush strokes that I just love about oil painting. They remind me of Van Gogh, the way he used to paint. And so this is, and you get two of each design. So this is one of them. And just look at the colors in there. They're absolutely stunning. This would also make a beautiful gift bag as well. So those are two sheets. And then the backs are all watercolored, just big, large brush strokes on there with a mix of colors. Okay, and then take a look at this one. I just love the color combinations in here. It kind of reminds me of Van Gogh's Night Sky painting, which is so famous. And then the backs are, look at the chunky, it almost looks like Mexican, the way they do their Mexican walls, the walls in some of the timeshares that we've stayed in, this thick paste on the walls, and gorgeous color there. Okay, and then there's this one. I think this one, well, I don't know which is my favorite, because every time I think one is a favorite and I show another piece, I go, oh my gosh, look at that. But look at the colors in that. And the flowers just jump right out on the page. Okay, so those are those flowers. And then check this one out. It's just stunning. And I love the colors of the different greens in there. This is the Mossy Meadow and Old Olive in there. And then this is the one we're going to be using. And then there's this one. This was also a painting that we saw the artist make at head office. Yeah, the papers are spectacular. Look at that background too. That's really cool. Yeah, beautiful. Nice and thick too. Perfect for boxes or gift bags. Just fantastic quality paper. All right, so those are the papers. You could also order a gold overlay on here. Let me see if I can dig it out of my bag here, or my box. I have a box of papers right next to me, and I know I bought those gold overlays, which I haven't even opened the package yet. Here they are. So they're acetate sheets, and they are gold on one side and silver on the other. These are amazing. And there is one sheet in here that actually overlays, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get rid of all this stuff and see if you can see it. See, look at that. So I'm not sure. Some of them match up with the paper exactly. I know this one here, this matches with one of the sheets of paper. So you get 3 sheets, acetate sheets in this pack. And there's just a simple pattern on that one there, look. They're just gorgeous. And then if you wanted to use the silver side, you could. But I just love the gold. Okay, and then this one definitely matches up with one of the papers, the cascading floral one. So you can overlay this on top of your card. Yeah, just gorgeous. It's almost as if you've gold embossed the flowers with those papers. Yeah, those are just stunning. Okay, so let's get all of this stuff out of the way. And then what sheet was I using here? Here we go. Okay, let's put these to the side. All right, so if you want to craft along with me, I'll give you all of the measurements, okay? So real simple card to put together, okay? You pick your designer series paper first and then coordinate your colors. And then you want to watch the orientation of the paper. If your flowers, you know, are flowing in an upwards portrait orientation, you have to be careful how you cut your paper. So my flowers are flowing this way, so I'm going to be cutting it here rather than this way, because if I cut it this way, then they're sideways. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to be cutting mine along here. Okay, so to cut the paper, you need this to be 5 1/4 by 12. So this is my 12-inch piece, because we're going to be folding this back and forth into an accordion. So this is the 12-inch side, and then I'm going 5 1/2 here. No, 5 1/4. 5 1/4 by 12. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer here. Okay, so the bottom of my card is here, and I'm going to 5 1/4. Okay, so 5 1/4. That's the first thing I'm going to be doing. There we go. 5 1/4. Okay. Whoops. Every now and then that blade pops out of the track. There we go. Okay. All right, so that's your designer series paper, 5 1/4 by 12. Okay. And then you need a card base. So this is a card that is built on top of just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So, and then we're going to do a belly band on this. You don't have to do a belly band, but I want to show you how to make a belly band. So I've got another piece here. I think this is why I brought this out for a belly band. So you need, this is 11 inches, and I'm going to cut this at 1 1/2. So 1 1/2 by 11 is your belly band. Okay. All right, so far we have our card base, we have our DSP that we're going to fold. I'm going to tell you, yeah, you're going to have to score this. I'll show you how to do that. Then I have 2 pieces of Whisper White or basic white cardstock. So one is the inside layer, okay, and I've cut this a little smaller than regular because I want to be able to see the designer series paper around the edges. So this one is actually cut at 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so that's 3 3/4 by 5. And then I'm going to do another panel inside the card, and this one is cut to 2 3/4 by 5. Okay, so 2 3/4 by 5 and 3 3/4 by 5. Those are your 2 inside panels. Okay, so let's show you the scoring, and then you can decide on how to decorate it. So I'm going to use a couple of the flowers from here, and then I'm going to do the stem, and I'm going to create a circle for the belly band, and I'm going to create a design on the circle. That's what I'm going to be doing for mine. Okay, so the colors, I'm pulling in the colors from here. So to make that flower, I'm going to do Blushing Bride and Rococo Rose, and then I'm going to use Mossy Meadow for my leaf stem. All right, so let me just, and I'm not doing any die cutting tonight. I'm just doing some simple stamping. All right, so I'm going to pull in my scoring board. Pull in my scoring board. So you're going to have the 12-inch side along the top of your scoreboard, and then you're going to pull in your stylus. And when I do DSP, I like to use the thicker knob versus the really thinner knob. The thinner knob or finer tip I use for cardstock, but this one I like to use the thicker one for designer series paper. Okay, so let's think about this now. So this is going to be the inside of the card. So this one, I'm going to turn it around and score it this way now, because this is the first one at 4 inches, and that's the back of the card. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, so I'm going to score this again at 4 inches. then at 7, and then at 10. Okay, so now when I turn this around, see, this is now, the flowers are the right direction, and this is the inside of the card here. Okay, and let's just make sure that, let's get rid of this. Okay, so that's the one fold. So that's the back of the card. Then I'm going to fold it over this way yet. Okay, and then we're folding it again this way. Okay, perfect. All right, so this becomes the front of the card. And so then you open it up like this. So this 4-inch piece is the back panel that you're going to be gluing on top of this quarter sheet. Does that make sense, everybody? Hello, Susan. Welcome. Okay, so that's basically how the card goes. All right, so then that's why it's good to have a belly band, because we're going to keep it closed with a belly band, because otherwise it keeps lifting up. But this is what's called an accordion fold. All right, so before I commit anything, gluing anything, I want to decide on what I want to do now. So there's different things you can do in an accordion fold. You could, you could put a strip of I keep saying whisper white, basic white. You could put a strip of basic white here, and you could build up some stamping on that if you wanted to. You could certainly open this up then, and then this is actually where I'm going to put in this piece of whisper white. This is the inside of the card where typically you write your greeting. Okay, so the one thing you want to watch out for though is the card doesn't close completely. So you have this strip of white that's going to show. So when you put your greeting in there, you don't want some of the letters sticking out the side here. When you put in your greeting, you want to make sure the greeting is in this area here. So that's something to also watch out for. So it's kind of important to understand the dynamics of the card as you're designing it, to know what to do and what not to do. Okay. And then I'm going to also put a panel on the inside here. So I may decorate this and then put my greeting on the inside, or I could decorate this and then put my greeting over here. That's totally a design thing. So this is that other 2 3/4 inches wide that's going to go in there like that. Okay, so then the card will close like that. Okay. So let's build on what I'm going to do. Now I pulled out 2 of my punches. I have a 2-inch punch and a 2 1/4 inch punch. So on the 2-inch punch, I want to design my flower. Now typically I stamp and then punch, but when I know that I'm restricted with the space, I like to cut it out first so I can see exactly where I want to stamp the image. And I'm just looking in my scrap pile here for a scrap, and I don't have any. Oh, here's a piece scrap here. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my silicone mat to give myself some cushion while I'm stamping, because I'm using these photopolymer stamps. Okay, so here I have, this is a 2-step stamping technique, and there's a variety of different size flowers in the set. And so I'm going to do this lighter color Blushing Bride on the smaller or the larger stamp. Oh, I was going to cut my circle out. Here I'm talking about it and then I don't do it. So let's cut this out or punch this out. Okay, so this circle is going to form part of my belly band. Okay, so I'm going to do my flowers first. So I did the Blushing Bride with the larger flower. And then I'm doing the smaller flower in Rococo Rose. And then the green. So I'm going to close this Mossy Meadow. I don't need it anymore. Pull out my old olive. All right. So this is, I'm just going to test this out because I might want to stamp this off. If you find that when you it's good to practice on some scrap paper, because you may want to determine whether that's too dark. Okay, so when you ink it up and then stamp it, that's what we call first generation stamping. And you may decide, well, I would rather it be second generation, which means you don't re-ink it. You ink it once, stamp it off, and then you stamp it again. You get a lighter version. Okay, and I think that's a bit too light. Let me try it again, because you don't want too much time to go between. So stamp and then stamp. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stick with full strength this time. On the Mossy Meadow, it's a darker color, so you could do second generation stamping, but I think I'm going to stick to full strength for Old Olive. There we go. Okay, so there's our flower, and this is going to be mounted on top of this. Now, I might put a bit of ribbon underneath. I'll see as I keep designing here. All right. Now, let's see. Let's see how our card's going to work out. So I think it's safe to glue. I'm going to glue the base to, I'm going to glue the designer series paper to the card base. Okay, so let me pull out my tape runner. Who else has joined me tonight? Oh, thanks, Tanya. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted a different green. Okay. And Laura's joined us. I don't feel the need to use too much tape. This tape is super strong, and so you don't need a lot of tape. Okay, now I'm going to completely close that and line it up. So I like to hold my paper on both sides and hover over the bottom layer to see if I've got it straight and I've got equal sides, top and bottom, and the sides. So that looks pretty good right there. Okay, and then I put it down. And I'm burnishing in the adhesive. Okay, so that's what your card looks like. Now, even though this piece is 1/8 of an inch shorter, it will still stand up. Okay, so don't worry about that. And so with this type of a card, it's almost like, well, it's not really like opening a book because there's that extra piece, but when you open it up, you have an opportunity to see all this beautiful designer series paper, and or you can add, white or ivory bits in here and then decorate them with more flowers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and before you stick any of the white pieces in, I always advise you to do your stamping first, because if you make a mistake, our fabulous white cardstock, you can just turn it over and then start all over again. You don't waste it. Okay, so let's do a bit more stamping in here, and I have to decide on, now I'm thinking that because I'm doing a belly band, I'm not going to do a greeting on the front. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to join these two things together, and I might just work out my belly band right now so I know what I'm doing. So now, some people will score their belly band, but I like to just wrap it around, because the important thing is that you don't want it to be too tight, because this belly band has to slip on and off the card. So you don't want to be too tight. So what I generally do is I do it tight on one side. Okay, so just wrap that over like that. Then the other side, as I wrap it, I back it off just a tiny bit. So I don't butt it right up against the card. I just gently wrap it, okay? Gently wrap it and then squeeze it, okay? Because you don't want it to be too tight, because you want to make sure that this will, see, it has to slip on and off as she says it, and it doesn't slip on and off. There we go, okay? You want it to slide up and down, right? So then you want to decide where you want to put this element. So do you want it to be more over here on this piece, or you could center it, or you could put it further over to the right? And so when you determine that, you're going to want to cover this seam up. So if you're going to move it over, this seam has to be snipped off a bit shorter, okay? So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim this off a little bit, okay? So I might just center mine tonight. Okay, now I can decide as well if I want to put any ribbon on here. So what you could do with a belly band too is, once you have this here, you could wrap something around the belly band. So let me just look at my ribbons here and decide. So this paper really lends itself to gold. So we have this ivory ribbon, or what we call very vanilla ribbon. So I could wrap a bit of this ribbon around the belly band as well and have it meet underneath this. I think that would look really pretty. What do you think? The other thing to let you know is we have this in white with silver. So these are I think these are our most popular ribbons. And the wonderful thing about these ribbons is you can color them with your alcohol markers. So if you wanted this to match with maybe one of the pinks, you can these are what our alcohol markers look like. Okay, so there's what's called a bullet tip on one end, and then there's a brush tip on the other end. And all you need to do is make sure you protect your surface underneath it. You just say, for example, grab a scrap piece of paper again. Okay, and I'll just show you. I use the brush tip, and if you wanted to color the ribbon, you're just brushing it over the ribbon, and you don't have to do both sides. And the more you brush over, the darker it gets. And it's as simple as that. And then you're just going to let it dry. But look how pretty that is. Okay, so that's what a lot of us are doing, is we're coloring our ribbon to match the project. Okay, so I might just leave the very vanilla as it is because I want the contrast on here. So what I will do is I'm going to take some, let me just see, is it safe to, I might even do a bow. I love bows. So I want this to wrap like that. And this is going to go in the middle here, like that. Okay, so I think I'm safe to now glue this down. I'm just going to use my Tombow liquid glue. Okay, and you don't need a lot. Just going to put a bit here, like that. And then wrap that. Just make sure your edges are even. And I'll hold that down for a second. Okay. So let's see, I might want to give this some, I'm going to dimension this up a little bit, I think. So let's pull out my dimensionals. We'll do one here and one here and one here. These are the dimensionals that we get from our paper pumpkin kits. They always give you so many extras. Okay, so let's put this on here. Okay, now we want to wrap this ribbon around the belly band as well. So I'm going to use my glue dots for this to glue my a ribbon down. All right, so pokey tool here. So I was just watching somebody today who has a new pack of these glue dots, and maybe some of you can confirm this with me. The glue dots are, and Carol was talking about this the other day, the glue dots, instead of being underneath the tape, are now on top of the tape. And I thought that that was like a mistake. But apparently it's not a mistake. That's just the way they do them now. Have any of you purchased any of the newer ones? Okay, so let's get another glue dot. And because if that's the case, it's going to be hard to get used to the new orientation of glue dots. Just make sure my ribbon is straight here. There we go. And press them down. Okay, and then this is going to go on top like that. And I think I'm going to, you know, I have to straddle that ribbon, so I'm going to do more, I'll do more dimensionals here. So, and I might want to skew my flower a little bit, like that. So let's do one here, and one. You want to make sure you're getting it on the belly band. That's the other key thing. So I think I'm going to stick this. This would have been smarter just to put it on the belly band, but I think I'm low enough there. One time I made a belly band and then I stuck this on the top, and then of course the glue dots were, or not the glue dots, the dimensionals were stuck on the actual card, and of course then I couldn't put the belly band up. So again, those are other things to watch for. So let's just make sure that's going to work. There we go. And this should slide off. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, I like that gold ribbon on there. All right, so what else do we want to do with this card? So for the belly band, of course, guess what I'm bringing out, ladies? I'm bringing out Wink of Stella, of course. And I think I might just do these darker bits. I love Wink of Stella, adds a little bit of shine. Okay. All right, and maybe a couple of embellishments on here. Oh, my box of embellishments is near my computer, so I'll go back and get those. But let's finish off the inside of the card. So we can remove the belly band for now. All right, so in here, I'm going to put this in here, but I think I want to put do some stamping on here. And I have this beautiful flower in here, and I have actually these bigger flowers here. I could do a bigger flower with the big stem down the middle here. Maybe I'll do that. What do you think, ladies? So let's do, this is the lighter color, so I have to get out a bigger block. So let's, oops. Okay, so that's going to be the light color. And then let's get out another block for the inside color. I'm going to stick with the same colors. Although now that I think about it, you know, this paper has got this bumblebee on the back. Bumblebee and maybe Daffodil Delight or So Saffron. So maybe I should do that color flower on the inside. What do you think? Okay, so we're going to stamp this. Yeah, maybe I'll do bring in some yellow. So let's clean this off now that I plunked it in the pink. Okay, I'm just going to close up these ink pads because I'm running out of space here. I'll keep that one open. Okay, the two yellows I want to use are Bumblebee. This is Bumblebee, and I want to use Saffron. I think I like this yellow. It's a warmer yellow than Daffodil Delight. These two colors I think will look nice. Okay, so I want the beggar flower to be in the lighter yellow. All right, so this is the bigger, well, I shouldn't say bigger, but it's the background part of the flower. I'll do this in the lighter color. How are you enjoying the new paper pumpkin? I started it. I think I only made 2 alternatives so far, but I'm looking forward to making some more. Okay. Now, I forgot to bring in my silicone pad for stamping with these cleared. You need a little bit of cushion underneath. Now, this is the more detailed flowers, so this is going to be in Bumblebee. Oh, Maggie has just joined us. Hi, Maggie. How's the packing going? Okay. Let's do this on top. This is the Bumblebee. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's put these out of the way. Then we want to do our stem. I'm going to stick to the same green for the stem. And yeah, that's the only stem that's in there. So again, let's do the old olive stem. Oh, and Diane is here. This is fantastic. So nice of you ladies to be catching me. I think you do catch more people in the evenings than in the mornings, but I do have quite a few people watch me in the mornings. Okay. You know what I did? I wonder, did any of you notice what I did? Tanya, you're going to laugh. I ended up using the Mossy Meadow instead of this one. Look what I did. Isn't that crazy? I think this one looks better. I might be able to get that off. Can't believe I did that. I should have, I didn't want to throw the other one out because I know I can use it, but so much to concentrate on. So let's just see if I can get this off. I should be able to with my handy dandy little spatula. Oh, there we go. Yay. I wink of Stella'd it and everything. And we'll just have to do it again because I do think it's going to look better with the lighter green. Live crafting. Can't edit these bits out, ladies. Gotta go live. I can use that for something else. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to use. Silly me. Okay, now I can put my dimensionals. Barbara never noticed. Yeah, I know. I can't believe I just noticed that. If I hadn't have found the other piece on my desk, I probably wouldn't have noticed either. So there you go. Not a biggie. Okay, so let's get this on here. Okay, we'll wink a Stella it last. Okay, and then I'm going to get my dimensionals. And this time, I'm going to put them, I'm going to straddle it on either side of that ribbon. Okay. let's put this back on. There we go. If you put that on crooked, it gets a bit difficult to slide on. There you go. Luckily, because this card only has the single layer in the back, see, and that's sliding, that ribbon, I might put a little glue dot. See how that slid down like that? So what I might do is I might put a little glue dot underneath on the back, just to hold it into place. Okay, let's lift the ribbon up. Okay, perfect. That shouldn't slide as much. Okay, let's take these tops off and then put on our, now I got the right one this time? Yes, I do. And I wanted that a little bit skewed. There we go. Now I can put my Wink of Stella on, and we can go back to the inside of our card again. Can't believe I did that. Well, anything's possible. And again, it's handcrafted, right? Nobody's gonna, like you said, nobody would probably notice. All right, so there's our belly band all fixed up. I'm happy about that. And then there's our beautiful card on the inside, our beautiful flower on the inside. So let's put on some tape on here. How are we doing for time? Don't want to keep you guys for too long. We're coming up to the hour. Boy, time flies. Now really watch for, I'm going to fold this over so I can really watch where my, to center it, right? To watch where my edges are. See what I mean? This glue is really strong and it just sticks like right away. That's why using Tombow. If you're a new crafter, I would encourage you just to use liquid glue. I didn't do my two-handed technique. Maybe that's why. Okay, left and right and top and bottom. Okay, there we go. All right. So that's going to go on the inside, and then we have our panel on the inside. As I look around my desk, trying to figure out where that is. Here it is. Okay, so on this now, it's deciding if I'm going to have a greeting. So my card's going to open up like this. So they see beautiful flowers, and they open and they go, oh, look, there's another beautiful flower. You could do your greeting on here too if you wanted to. And then on here, what I might do is I'm going to maybe do another one of these flowers in the bottom corner. I think that would be pretty. So let's do, because if I do the flower, no, I don't want to do that because it's going to stick out. So actually, I'll do it on the inside. I'll do it on the inside left. How about that? Okay, so here's my green Old Olive. Old Olive has to be my favorite. One of my favorite. Oh, I just found my other. I was looking for that. What was I saying? My favorite greens. I saw for St. Patrick's Day, there were lots of images coming up asking people what their favorite greens were. Some demonstrators made these really cool graphics with all of our greens. We have a lot of greens. And they were saying, oh, which is your favorite green? Okay, let's clean off this yellow, and I'm going to go back to the pink for the inside. So we'll get off the yellow. And we're going to do the pink. So let's go back to the light pink. Hi, Joan. Welcome. Light pink. Light pink. And then let's do the dark pink in there. There we go. Okay, let's decide now on, maybe do I want a greeting? I can leave it blank. You can put a greeting on later, depending on what you want the card for. But look how nice it is to see the designer series paper on the back. Now, you could easily have reversed this paper so that the inside was mostly the yellow to give a bit of contrast with your stamping. So when you cut your papers, you want to just, you know, think about that. Maybe this would have been prettier with the roses on the top and then the yellow on the inside. Okay, so you have to decide. As a matter of fact, because I cut that other cardstock wrong, I might do that. I might just do that. I might just reverse it so that I don't waste it. Okay. And again, you could put a white panel. You could put a thinner white panel right here instead of over the whole thing here as well. Yeah, it's totally up to you. So I'm not sure about a greeting. Let's see what's in this package anyway. What have we got? I miss you. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Good luck. Sorry. Thank you. Best wishes. You are lovely. I'm thinking of you. I need something that's not going to go too far across. This would make a beautiful birthday card. So maybe I'll just do happy birthday. I always need birthday cards. Happy birthday. Okay, let's pull out one of my thin blocks. And again, remember with stamping, it doesn't always, your greetings do not always have to be in black. You can pick a color. So speaking of color, I think I might just do that. I might, this ink pad is broken. Causes me no end of grief. I should really just buy a new one. You can stamp in colors. So I think I'm going to bring in that dark Mossy Meadow and stamp my greeting in that. Now I haven't stuck this in the card yet. So what I love about our grid paper, and this is available to everyone, not just demonstrators. I love this grid paper. It comes in a big pack and it's got all your measurements on it and it just makes a great work surface. So when you use your grid paper, you can, it's easy to line up your stamps and get them straight. My head might be right in the camera. I'm not sure. There you go. Happy birthday. Oh gosh, I hope I didn't put that too far over on the right. And if I did, well, it's a handmade card and it's too late. Let's just see what happens. Oh, I just made it in time. Whew. Forgot about that. A lot to think about. You know, this card is an easy card to make. You know, the fundamentals are really easy. But there's lots to think about, isn't there? All right, so I want to come, yeah, so I can't go too far over because there's my score line right there. Okay, let's see if I can do it like that. Okay. Yes, it closes now. Yeah, you got to watch for that score line right there. Okay, but we did it. It doesn't show through here. This would be pretty if there were some little tiny little flowers or little splatters you could put down the side here. Could have wrapped that maybe with more ribbon, maybe embossed it. Oh, I don't know. Lots of ideas for you there to think about. Let's put our belly band back on. And we can call it a night. So there you go. There's your DSP belly band card. I hope you really enjoyed this. So I will post the measurements in the description so that you can remake this card. But there's your card for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next Thursday night. And if you can make it Monday mornings at 10, I do a card sketch as well. and I have a fun fold video on YouTube coming out tomorrow. So thanks again, everyone. And if you'd like to shop with me, I'd really appreciate that. You can find me at ericaedney.com. Thanks again. Good night, everyone. Bye for now.